All right, guys, so I want to give you a brief overview of the different tabs within Blackboard, and then again, a quick introduction to the research paper. So, what you will see when you come into your home screen here, right, you're going to see that you are um, associated with two major courses, right, the Environmental Science 030, and then you'll see another section that says 330. This section is associated with your lab, but if you click on it, what you'll notice is that there's nothing in there. The reason for that is because I have actually embedded everything that you will need for the lab component into the 030 section. So, although this is here, you'll never need to go into it. Everything you'll need for the course is in the 030 section. So let's click on it. Okay, the first thing you're going to see is my welcome tab, right? Most of you have had the ability to move through this now, and maybe you even moved on to the Start Here tab, right? The Start Here tab is going to give you, again, the brief overview of what we have in terms of the course objectives, how to navigate through Blackboard, and again, all of these black bulleted points are just basically all the different links and what they're associated with. If we go below that is our Announcements tab. Your Announcements tab is basically the emails that I send out to you guys from Blackboard. But if you lose that email, you can always come back to the Announcements section. And here again, I have the two major postings that I have so far, right? So the first was my video that unfortunately had a link that did not work. But in this section here, I put Hello Part 2, and I embedded a link for you. I can't copy and paste it here because I am in edit mode right now. But for you guys, what you'll just need to do is highlight this, put this into a new tab, open it up, and again, you should be able to watch my introductory video for requirements for the course. So anything that I'm going to be posting for you guys will come through the announcement section, and it will automatically be sent first as an email to your untdallas.edu account. Again, very important, you're checking that on a regular basis. If we move down to the Course Information tab, the Course Information tab has a couple of different things. First, it has your syllabus. Outside of your syllabus, I've broken down and even put this course schedule for when assignments, lab reports, quizzes, your research paper guidelines, and also when your exams are going to be due. And then again, the final component here being your research project. So we'll talk about that in just one second. If we keep on zipping along and we go through course documents, right, you're not going to, of course, see the instructor resources on my side, but if you click through here, I've got two different pieces that are associated for additional study habits. So I've got some interactive infographics, and I've got some flashcards that you can move through for each chapter. Use them. They're there as study tools for you guys to successfully pass the course. Come back over here for course modules. This is the most important part. This is probably the tab you'll utilize the most outside of turning things in, of course, but this is where you're going to see all of the 5 weeks. It has broken down exactly the chapters you'll move through. It has broken down the lecture activities you'll need to move through and the lab activities that you'll need to move through. So let's click on week 1 since we're in week 1. You can navigate over here on the left-hand side, or you can just scroll up and down, right? So it tells you the module overview, it tells you what you'll be learning through in the course objectives for this week, the required readings. Again, this is on your own time. You guys will need to be moving through these chapters individually. And now the other major components, your lab activities and your lecture activities. So let's click and see what we have to do for our lecture activities this week. Well, the first thing is Launchpad. Let's talk about Launchpad. So if you click over here to the left, right, I have a Launchpad link embedded for you. Now, when you click on Launchpad, it's going to open you up to the Launchpad page. Read this again if we're a little bit concerned about what we need to do. Again, I explained the access and all of that components in my welcome video, so if you're unsure, please go back and watch that again. But you need to purchase access to Launchpad. You cannot buy a used copy of the book. You cannot rent the book. You will not have access through that platform if you rent the book or if you buy it used. You need to purchase an access code new. You will not be able to complete the assignments otherwise. Once you do that, the first chapter, right? You're going to be taking a quiz on chapter 1. So you're going to click on chapter 1. And what is it going to do? It's going to bring you to the Launchpad platform. Now for me, I'm already linked in, right? I've already got my access as an instructor. I already have access to everything that I need to do. And what is it telling me? Well, if I was a student, I have 4 assignments that are due in the next 7 days. And if I look over here, here are all some different due dates that are associated with my assignments, right? You'll need to do chapters 1 through 4 quizzes, right, in order to be able to complete everything that you would have needed to do for the lecture activities for module number 1 or week number 1. When you take the quiz, it automatically embeds your grade into the gradebook on Blackboard, right? So again, if you look down, here's all the chapters you have to move through, the major components of those chapters, and again, the associated quizzes will be linked through these links. So make sure you're going through here in order to take your quizzes so that I can appropriately see your grades being populated into Blackboard, okay? Again, you have to purchase access to this. You cannot have a used book or a rented book. You will not get an access code with that. Okay, so if we go back to course modules, go back into week number 1. Go back into lecture activities and assignments, right? We have some stuff that we need to do for Launchpad. We've covered that. Now let's talk about our research project. I have embedded for you the research project guidelines, right? Right here. It's also embedded back over here in the course information. But I've even made it easier. I've broken down right here in the very first time that you're seeing components of the research project when the due dates are, right? So this week you're going to need to turn in a thesis sentence, right? And again, if we look at the actual research project guidelines, here again, what do we see? We see the overview of the assignment. You're going to be talking about some version of an environmental related issue. You have your individual due dates of when things are due. You then have each component that I'm asking for you to submit broken down step by step by step, exactly what it is that I'm asking for you to complete. You have a guideline of the oral presentation, and we're going to talk about that in just 1 second. And you also have a grading rubric of how I'm going to give you your grade for your research project as a whole, right? So again, please read through this. If you come to me and say, I don't know what I'm supposed to write my research paper about, I don't know what my due dates are, the first question I'm going to ask you is, did you go to any one of the course modules in which it tells you which component of the research project is due, or did you read the syllabus, or did you look through the course information? Did you download the link of the research project? There's lots of different ways for you to get this information into your hand, right? So please make sure you're reading through that. Now, again, you are submitting a thesis sentence this week. Where are you going to submit that? You're going to write out your thesis sentence in just a general Word document. You're going to save it, and then you're going to upload it to this link over here as the research project Turn It In. Again, you click on the research project Turn It In. What do you see? Here's another place you can download the research project guidelines. So again, lots of places for you guys. You will click on thesis statement, right? View complete. What you will do after you have written out your thesis statement, you will type in your first and last name, your submission title of your thesis statement, and then of course you'll just upload it, hit submit, and then it'll go through the Turn It In process, and I will be able to grade it and give you points for that. All components of the research project and all lab components are going to be submitted through Turn It In. So again, if you go back to this link, these are all the major breakdowns of the research paper, and then again, the lab assignments. So what do I mean for the lab assignments? Well, let's go back to our course modules for course number 1, or for week number 1. Go down to the bottom. Let's make sure we've covered all components for our lecture activities. Oh, we've got one more component, the discussion board. So the discussion board link over here to the left, if I click on that, what do I see? I see all the different discussion boards that I will be having to participate in, including the final one, which is the oral presentation of your research paper. We'll talk about that in just 1 second. So This is just a general question and answer forum. If you have any questions, again, I would highly ask that you send your personal questions to me through my email address. But maybe you have some questions for students, you can post those here. That's up to you. This is just a general way of communication because, again, we can't see each other face to face. But the first component that you're supposed to do by the end of the week is discussion board number 1. So if we click on discussion board number 1, what do we see? We have to do some version of student introductions. I'd like you to just give me a general 2 to 3 sentences. Who you are, what grade level you're at in college right now. Are you new to UNTD? What's your major? Is there any hobbies? Something cool that we should know about you, right? Again, I'd like to get you guys to engage as much as possible in this online platform because we can't see each other face to face. So you'll click in discussion board number 1. And what do you see? Well, some students have already put in their introductory components, right? You will create your own thread. You will put in your first and last name, and you'll go ahead and complete it by generating your own couple of sentences about yourself. You'll hit publish, and then what will you do? You'll come back out, and you'll move through some of these other people's discussion boards and comment on them. Again, I'd like to keep this as an open classroom environment as much as possible, and that's why I'd like you to engage with each other. In order to get all the points for your discussion board, you have to completely post one thing of your own and comment on other people's pages, right? This is how we're going to interact with each other. So, the discussion boards. All of the components for the discussion boards and the lecture components that you have to turn in for discussion boards are going to be here in the discussion board link. The final component of your research paper is going to be an oral presentation. Here is another breakdown of what you'll need to submit, but you can go back to the research paper guidelines and it has all of that information in there. Again, since I can't see you guys face to face to give you an oral presentation or for you to give me an oral presentation, I would like you to create a small video, submit that, and then your peers will comment on it, including myself. And again, this is just our final way of wrapping up and engaging with each other inside of the classroom. So let's go back to our course modules. We have wrapped up everything that we'll need to do for week 1 in terms of our lecture activities, but what about our lab activities? Well, let's click on that. So for lab activities, we have 2 things we're going to need to do for our lab this week. The first is going to need to be that we're going to need to write some version of a lab report. So if we open that up, what do we see? The lab report has some general instructions. The first thing, you will write me a 1-page lab report, just 1 page, 12-point font, double-spaced, including the 4 following sections. It also gives you a step-by-step of what you will be doing for this lab report. So in this case, you're going to be learning about human populations and ecological footprint. You're going to be going to something within the EPA. You're going to actually measure your own personal carbon footprint. You're going to be generating some graphs. You're going to be generating some data. And then you're going to map out and lay out your own lab report with introduction, materials and methods, right? Results, discussion, and conclusion. Please do not take this piece of paper here, just fill in the components of it, right? Underneath the instructions and submit that. You will not get points for that. You need to generate your own lab report. But this has all the steps for what you will need in order to generate your lab report appropriately. When you've done that, save that as a Word document, come over here to the research project, turn it in links, go down to the bottom here, and what do you see? All of the lab assignments. Lab exercise 1. You'll just submit it here. Okay? The last major component of your of week 1, and again, this is going to be for every week, but we're only going to go through week 1. We go through lab activities again. What do we see? We also have to do Gamescape episode 2. I know that's a little odd. We're going to go out of order. So episode 2 first. Come over here to the left. I have the link for you, Gamescape. Click on that. It's going to bring you to this page, right? So again, what are you going to need to do? You can purchase access from the bookstore. And if you do not purchase access from the bookstore, right, you're going to, you can purchase access here through the actual website itself. Same concept as Launchpad, you'll need to have an access code purchase in order to be able to do the Gamescape episodes. Once you enter into here, you'll move into some kind of online virtual reality scenarios. You'll navigate through those scenarios. At the end of each episode, it'll have questions for you prompted. You will answer those questions. You will save that as a PDF file. Come back to Blackboard. Again, go to Turnitin Links. Go back down to your lab assignments. And Gamescape Episode 2. So, all of your research project except for your oral presentation and every component associated with lab you will submit to me through Turnitin. Okay? This will be the only way I will accept these activities. All of your Launchpad activities need to be done through clicking on this link, clicking on the chapter that you need to take the quiz so that it appropriately populates into the gradebook for Blackboard and you can see your grades as well as I can see your grades. Have to put in your untdallas.edu email address. Okay, the very final thing, and I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can so it's not a 27-minute video, is your exams. Your exams are not posted for you guys now, but you're seeing on the back side what I can see. Your exam will open June 14th, the very first one. You will have 1 through 7 chapters that you will need to cover for this exam, okay? Now, the due date for exam 1 is June 21st by 11:59 p.m. But I'm opening it June 14th. The reason for that, some of you want to get ahead. I applaud you for that, right? Some of you are going to zip through those 7 chapters and just want to get the exam over and done with. I open each of your 3 major exams 1 week prior to the due date. So there is absolutely zero positive excuse that you do not have enough time to take your exam. Please do not email me at 10 p.m. on the night the exam is due and expect me to, 1, be anywhere near my computer at that time, or 2, the internet broke, or I don't have a computer, or I can't get access, or I just don't have. Those excuses will not fly, and I will not give you another chance to take the exam. Additionally, I know we think we're going to be sneaky here, right? We're going to keep the exam open in this page, and then we're going to keep the book open over here. Nope. The second you navigate away from the Blackboard platform when you are taking your exam, it will close the exam for you. So make sure you carve out time. Make sure you are in a nice quiet spot. Make sure your computer works. Do a couple tests for the internet before you open up the exam. The second you navigate away from the exam, you will close the exam out. I will not reopen it for you, okay? You will get 1 question presented to you at a time. You have a total of 50 questions in each exam, and you have 60 minutes to take these exams. So you have plenty of time, and again, plenty of time to be able to take it within the week span. So overall, guys, that's all of the different module components here. These are each of the different links. If you have any other generalized questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. I hope this helped. I hope this worked for you guys. I hope it helps to just kind of break down the components a little bit more straightforward for you. All right, good luck. And again, keep posted with announcements just in case so that I can let you know what's going on with the course itself should something need to change. All right, bye.